Finally, we're going to wrap up this episode and talk about the announcement that just happened right before we recorded Smack Talk. We actually stopped what we were going to be doing and waited until this announcement was completely over to start doing this. WWE Network. Surprise, surprise. The thing that everybody knew that they were going to be doing and they tried to keep a secret ended up being the actual thing that they did. So I don't know why they were even bothering keeping it a secret. The whole groundbreaking announcement and all that. Like, what were they really going to announce other than this? Some people were thinking, oh, maybe they're gonna buy TNA and so come on, it was a fucking matter.
Is it
That was the
is that
hopeful
really
answer.
that preposterous?
What, that they would buy TNA?
Yeah.
I don't think it's preposterous that they would. I just think that it's not groundbreaking.
Think about how all these things would have lined up. I mean, TNA is in a very rough spot now. There's been rumors of the Carter family wanting to get out for a number of months. Stephanie has been doing all these mysterious sellings of her stock to get money. It would have made perfect sense for them to have bought it up if that had happened. All the
Invasion
stars
2.
line up for it.
Retrospective 2.
I still think that could be coming this year. WWE buying TNA. Unfortunately, it wasn't tonight, but we still got an excellent announcement.
Yeah,
You,
Bob.
you think it might be happening this year? It's a whole other discussion. Fuck TNA. We don't need to talk about TNA. So yeah, the WWE network has been fully announced. They ran down a bunch of stuff about it. I didn't get to know all of the information because bad luck on their part. They're talking about we're going to be streaming on this and that and that and that, and literally when they were talking about that, my YouTube stream went down, and I was just like, oh
I'm
god.
to be frank, Tony. I'm going to blame that either on your connection or on YouTube because I
I
had a flawless stream.
I was watching it on WWE.com, and it went out about the time Bob was talking, so I stopped watching. I got on YouTube and just looked at videos until now. So yes, see.
Well, I wouldn't put it past it being Google because Google's been having a lot of mistakes lately. But still, if you put your trust in somebody like that and then they don't have the donut, it's kind of disenfranchising a little bit.
Well, that's the beauty of it. This is going to be completely in their hands. So if there is a mistake, then they're going to hold responsibility, but they don't have to worry about anyone else. They don't have to worry about a pay-per-view provider. They don't have to worry about YouTube. They don't have to worry about anything else but what's inside their own network.
Imagine if like the people responsible for all the shutdowns that happen at Battleground were the WWE people,
Oh my
and we're gonna be
goodness.
getting that. That would just be so terrible.
How about they get the people that Ring of Honor was using? I hear they had good luck.
What was the story with that?
Oh, Ring of Honor was like notorious for their internet feeds going out for a long period. I think they were using GoFightLive.com, and it almost became like a running joke where every month the stream would black out.
Well, WWE's completely against the illegal streams, and they're talking about how this is something that I thought was funny during the beginning of this. Michelle something, I can't remember her name. Might have not even been Michelle now that I'm thinking about it. Vince McMahon comes out and he says, we're announcing the network. Here's the head of some kind of a thing. And she comes out, and one of the things that she had said, which I actually literally laughed out loud at, she was like, we found out over the course of WWE doing all this research and stuff that fans love this and fans love that, and fans are more than willing to pay for premium content or whatever. And the joke that I made at the time was just, for all the people that are making the streams and all that kind of stuff, that completely could not be the truth. But what's good about this is they offer you a pretty damn good deal. And even though I might not necessarily be getting it because I'm a cheapskate, and I really I'm hesitant to do any things like that because of how horrible Comcast is and other networks and stuff like that. I gotta wait until things kind of get tested out a little bit before I jump into stuff. But even though I might not necessarily do it, I can see the majority of people doing it, and I would not call them stupid for doing it either. I think that this is a pretty damn good deal. They're saying that it's going to be $9.99 a month, and you get all of the pay-per-views, including WrestleMania, which was kind of 50-50 before we weren't sure, and you get a whole bunch of other stuff. I mean, I guess we can kind of just break down a little bit here and there of some different shows and then start talking about the network in general. But Drew, what do you think is like one of the real main highlights of the shows that we're going to be getting?
The pay-per-views.
Or the
Is that
pay-per-views or the other shows or anything?
Ooh. Oh, I think the best thing about this is Total Divas for all the best things ever. But just calm down, I'm just kidding. But honestly, it's better than paying $60 a month to watch a pay-per-view, and sometimes 120 if they have two pay-per-views in a month. So I think the pay-per-views is actually the best thing about this. You know, someone like me who is younger and can you have like all the old school stuff that they want to show as well. I think going back and watching all that stuff for the younger people especially would be interesting to see for the younger people and maybe even those who just want to relive the moments of their youth.
What's the show that you think you're going to be most excited about, Sean?
Total Divas.
Personally, I want to watch that Legends house. That looks pretty damn funny. Seeing all those legends live in one house, you know.
Wait, that's an
Roddy
actual
Piper,
thing.
Mike Every Sis. Who knows?
You didn't see the announcement about the Legends house?
No, I came through right when I think what was his name, whatever his name was, came
Percy
on.
Watson. I missed
No,
that part.
Percy Perkins, I think it was.
Perkins, yeah,
Percy
yeah.
Playful?
No, he came on and then like he started talking. He was doing a good job, and then Triple H and Shawn Michaels awkwardly came out, and then he started freezing up for no reason at all. Such that, yeah, that's what I came in at.
Well, that's one of the shows they did announce, and they filmed it a while ago, maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago or something.
I'm shocked nobody's died.
Right? That's or
Being
they look.
perfectly frank. I mean, you get a bunch of old timers, first off, and more than that, wrestlers who are known for having expiration dates at a younger age. For them to have filmed that 2 years ago and taken this chance of having it sit on the shelf, and for all of these guys to have survived, I think is an absolute miracle.
Imagine if they filmed things that were like topical at the time, and they're just gonna look incredibly dated, and it's just gonna make them look even older because it'll be like, oh, look at that, they're stuck in the past, they're stuck 3 years ago.
You mean like WWE TV is anyway?
You try.
I mean, what, we just get a Who Let the Dogs joke like 3 weeks ago? I mean,
But the Legends House, yeah, that's basically going to be their version of that VH1 show. What the hell was that called? Where China was on it that one time, and Mini Me, and the started with an S, something whatever.
House of Love.
No, it was something else. The whatever it was crap. But
Oh, that's the spirit.
there's potential. There's also potential that it could be bad too. I mean, it all depends. If they end up going along the good side of things, we can end up having a pretty fun show where the old guys just, tell a lot of funny stories and they act like jackasses or whatever. Or they could over script it. I don't want to see that at all if they go that way. But if they just let them be themselves and they just, you put Hillbilly Jim and Hacksaw and Sergeant Slaughter and Iron Sheik, fuck, if they have Iron Sheik on there, just let him be Iron Sheik. I'll watch that. But that's one of the shows that they said that they're announcing. They also announced that we're gonna have WWE Countdown, which is essentially, like a top 10 kind of a thing. They marketed it as top 10 entrances and top 10 catchphrases and all the other kind of stuff like that. Basically, their version of top rope lists and all that other kind of stuff. It's a pretty simple thing. Anybody excited about that? I'm not really, but I think it's a good idea that they should have that as a backbone kind of thing.
And I'm also looking forward to the back catalogue of ECW and WCW matches, because I didn't watch them when I was a kid. So,
I wanted to give my opinion about Countdown, but
Go for it.
Sorry.
We'll go from one, and then we'll talk about the other one. Go
All right,
for
well,
Countdown.
I was gonna say it seems more like it's a ripoff of the Fave 5, but that's just me. I think it could be neat only because they said there's going to be a lot of fan interaction with it and that the fans are going to get to vote with it. So if they really do make it a democratic countdown and they don't just try to skew it to push whatever agenda they have with their lists that they usually do, then I think it could be a great show. But if it ends up just being another schmaltzy list like they have on WWE.com, then I'm not really going to be that interested.
What do you think about Countdown, Drew?
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good start.
Sure, why not? Yes. I kind of zoned out there, so I did not hear a single thing besides for Peyton. So, yeah, sure.
Fave 5.
Bay 5.
To go back on what Sean was saying about the old content of ECW and WCW and all that other kind of stuff, I'm not really too interested in watching that because I kind of figure if I really, really wanted to, I would check stuff from just Googling it in the past. I mean, I've done that with old matches here and there, mostly Royal Rumbles because those are like the most fun for me to watch. But I watched them back in the day, or I didn't watch them, and if I didn't watch them, it was for a reason. Like I was not a big fan of ECW, and there were times where I probably could have just watched ECW, and I decided to not watch it just because I just didn't feel like seeing it, as opposed to like, oh, I'm too busy to watch it or whatever. So I'm not going to be watching any old ECW, but that's obviously a really good resource for them to pull from because those ECW fans, they might watch that every single day or every single minute that they can. Um, as far as the old stuff goes, the thing that I think would be cool is that Monday Night War thing that they're talking about. That they're going to have a whole show dedicated to talking about the back and forth that happened between Raw and Nitro. So that is the one out of all the retrospective stuff that I think is really cool. Peyton and Drew, your thoughts on those? Peyton?
Peyton goes first.
I agree with you. I will enjoy being able to watch the WWE, WCW, and ECW pay-per-views. I mean, I think a big thing people are saying, oh, well, I can just find and download them anywhere. Yeah, you can, but you can't always just start watching them with the press of one button, and you might not be able to watch them if you are just out with your cell phone. Like, I'm going to be able to watch any pay-per-view anywhere. That's phenomenal. I think that's cool. If I'm just sitting waiting, it's like, oh, just press play on some random pay-per-view just to pass the time while I'm sitting here in the doctor's office or waiting for my food to come and I'm whatever. Like it's there. It's cool. I like it.
Good point.
The Raw, excuse me, the Monday Night Wars, which is it?
Battles?
Okay. The Mondays nights,
Skirmishes?
the Mondays nights Wars show. I think that's awesome. I love the Monday Night Wars DVD. That is possibly my absolute favorite DVD they've ever put out. If they can just expand on the idea they did with that and not just try to make it one-sided, but show that both sides played dirty, both sides had great stuff to offer at one point or another. And if they could really pull the stops out and who they bring in for interviews, I mean, I wanted you to bring in guys like Disco Inferno and Glacier and
Pulling out all the stops.
Duke the Dumpster Drosy. I want to see you pull out these guys. These are the guys you don't really get to hear the opinions of what was going on at that time.
Pulling out. like, like they're gonna be like, you'll never guess who we got on this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Mortis.
Hey, who better than Canyon?
So, since you were young at the time, Drew, are you gonna catch up on all that other kind of stuff and watch all those old episodes?
Of course. I think I'm thinking about just gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead and get the network whenever I can or whenever I'm not lazy. But I do think it's gonna be cool to go back and watch all this older stuff because I've never really got the chance to watch it because I was too young at the time, and also my life to an extent I just don't want to take the time to find all this stuff to go back and watch. So I think with the idea of what Peyton said, just that I can be anywhere I want, just in a quick click of the button, bam, watching some WCW pay-per-views and maybe a little bit of Rob Van Dam on some ECW stuff. Maybe I want some of that stuff. So I'm gonna give this a Drew Y verified. Just letting you know.
One other retrospective thing that I forgot to mention too, that I actually did think was pretty cool, was the WrestleMania Rewind thing, where they didn't really specify too much of what exactly it's going to be, but from what I guess, it seems like it's more of like the Monday Night War thing as opposed to actually just, showing the old WrestleManias, because you can watch that at any time too. But not Triple H, Stephanie was talking about stories with Andre the Giant, and they kind of showed that people would be talking about what happened at WrestleMania and stories behind the scenes and all that stuff. That I think is going to be pretty cool. I don't know if really there's that many stories that you could give for every single one of them, so they're going to run out of content pretty damn fast, I would assume. But hey, I mean, maybe we can hear some fun stories about why certain matches ended up going certain ways, or we were planning on doing this for WrestleMania, and then all the plans changed, and we ended up coming with this instead. Like, I think that might be pretty cool too.
Yeah, we done fucked up, so we had to change our plans.
Right.
That's probably what they'd say. Honestly, I think that might be one of the coolest things they have on here, because I've beaten this down like a horse by now, but I'm young. I didn't get to see this stuff. I want to see it, and so they better show me it. So yes, I want to see it.
They're gonna show to everybody but you. You're gonna have some kind of block on your account. It's gonna be
You're
like,
too
ah,
young.
you're too young. You can only watch things from 2005 onward.
Oh my God.
He'll be like, no, I already fucking saw this. Thoughts on WrestleMania Rewind, Sean?
Yeah. I was kind of yawning at the time you were talking, so yeah, yeah.
Peyton?
Such
Very
strong
informative, Sean.
Such strong opinions here. I kind of hope this ends up once again being an expansion of another one of my favorite DVDs, the true story of WrestleMania, which I
Ooh.
thought was a little short. I think a lot of things got rushed and they skipped over a lot of things. So maybe this won't be a super long running show, but if they make this like say like a 12-part miniseries or something like that, I think that could be fantastic.
Only
They
12?
didn't.
Well,
They didn't
this-
have the damn time.
you don't even have to do 12. Say it's a 30-part series, so you have one for every WrestleMania. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah,
that
see,
way.
I was actually about to say that. Why not just have one episode for every WrestleMania?
You know what?
That'd
They
be
probably
interesting.
could drag it out though and get even more than that. Because you could have, Stephanie was talking about being backstage with Andre the Giant. Well, that's one WrestleMania, and she could give a 5-minute story about what happened backstage. And
Oh, think about it. You could do a whole episode just on the build to that WrestleMania and getting things prepared, and then have another whole episode based on the event itself.
Mhm. You got the backstage stories about the whole potential assassination rumor thing that happened with WrestleMania 7, and start talking about all the details behind that stuff. Did it actually happen? It's just like
Yes.
all the the reports from the police, whatever, that kind of stuff. You could do a whole episode just about that, and certain topics. I'm sure they could be like, well, backstage this person said this, and that's it. We have a 1-minute segment about it, but it's pretty good content that they could end up pulling out. Um, as far as where the network's going to be available, Peyton touched upon this a little bit when he said that you could just be waiting in line somewhere and you want to pull up an old pay-per-view or something like that. They said that it's going to be available on WWE app, WWE.com, Xbox, PlayStation 3 and 4, Kindle, Xbox, but they actually didn't say the Xbox.
No,
They were saying
no.
like
360.
They said 360, but if you listen to her language, she said there's another system. No, she said there's another connected system that I am
Yeah.
not able to speak about right now. And of course, Connect,
Mm-hmm.
Xbox One,
Oh.
which is funny because they try to be all secretive about that. But then I go to WWE.com/help, which is where they have this big FAQ about WWE Network, and it says in there availability on additional devices, including Xbox One and select smart TVs, will follow this summer. So much for it being a secret.
Oh, so Peyton breaking down the barriers for us, being a
Mhm.
little investigator, detective. Thank you, Peyton.
That's two quote unquote secrets that they had. They're like, nobody's going to know that this is the announcement of the WWE Network. Nobody knows what we're talking about. Connect. Like,
Because everyone thought they were going to say they bought TNA.
Right.
That's what everyone was expecting.
this is the same dude that last year was like, you know what's going to happen? I hear John Cena is going to fight The Rock at WrestleMania. What? I mean, you
Bullshit.
might not believe it, but. And Roku. What the hell's Roku? I don't even know what that is.
Roku's
Oh,
kind of
it's-
like a set-top entertainment box, similar to an Apple TV. Basically, you hook it up to your television, and it's a way to get Netflix, and sometimes they'll let you stream
Pandora.
the internet, Pandora,
Hulu.
Hulu Plus, all those services.
Yeah, my friend has one, so I know what he was talking about. So you
It's-
beat me to the punch, Peyton.
Basically, if you have an Xbox or a PlayStation, you have absolutely no use for a Roku, but it's great for those people who don't have video game systems and they want to have something that they could put to their TV and watch Netflix and whatever else.
See,
They're only like $99 now. I think you can get the latest Roku box, so it's pretty sweet.
see.
So they give you a lot of different options, and they said that you can use any of them once you pay for your subscription. So that's another positive. You don't have to get a subscription for each one. So that's another benefit that they had. They really thought this pretty well through when it came to giving you incentive to buy this network. And you know, as much as there's possibly some problems that could come along, they could end up having stream issues like we were joking about earlier. They could end up having content issues or whatever. I think overall it's a pretty damn good win.
I think this is one of the biggest things to happen in the world of wrestling in a long, long time.
Yes.
And the way they announced it, this is going to be a game-changing, groundbreaking announcement, and they were not kidding. And people have known about this for a long time. When we got that Cine commercial almost 2 years ago, we were talking about, and it almost got to the point where people were laughing about it, saying, yeah, this network's never coming. Well, you know what? Joke's on us. It's here, it's coming, and it's going to be fucking amazing. I am excited about it. I'm shocked to see that there are some haters out there about it. They think it's going to bankrupt the company. They're not going to be able to make any money with this way because of all the revenue they think they're losing. Let me just go ahead and clear up that whole thing. WWE will probably be making about the same money because when they go through a pay-per-view provider and you're paying that $55 a month, majority of that money is not even seen by WWE. That's taken by the pay-per-view providers and goes to the cable companies, people that aren't WWE. When they're selling you this subscription service, that $10 a month is going only into the pocket of Vince McMahon and company. So if anything, I think there's a possibility for them to make a significant amount more money, not just by saying they get the same amount of buys, but because it's cheaper. Hopefully we'll see less people turning to streaming and instead opting, hey, I could afford $10 a month for this, and deciding to get it and pay legitimately. This is such a fantastic deal. One thing that I think a lot of people might not have noticed in the fine print, they're throwing $9.99 out there. That's if you get a 6-month commitment. So you have to sign up for 6 months. I'm not sure if you have to pay for it all up front or what the deal is, but that's $60. That's less than you pay for WrestleMania alone.
Right.
That's phenomenal. How can anybody argue that?
No one's gonna argue that.
Oh,
Yeah,
people
sure.
are.
Hater.
Trust me.
Unless
People
I
are.
know, none of us here, but there's people out there who just want to be just the other guys. Just they want to go against the norm, the hipsters, you
There's
might
a lot
say.
of WWE haters in the world these days.
Oh
And-
man, yeah, called TNA fans.
And
If
you know
there's
what?
such
One
a
of the
thing.
big arguments is that they have to just shut up about it now. Some people would be like, yeah, you know what? I would pay for it, but I don't have a TV. Or, yeah, but I don't have an Xbox or whatever. Well, you have like 20 different ways that you can use it now. So
You
they,
can never have a TV in your entire life, and you can experience this now.
right.
That's great.
I think it'd be very awkward though if you ended up just using the app.
Well, let me tell you. I mean, I was driving on my way home from work, and I realized that the 9:30 time was passing. And I was like, I could just listen to my music on my iPod, but why don't I just queue up the WWE app and listen in on what's going on with the presentation? So I had the video playing on my phone, which was sitting in my little dock. I wasn't watching while driving because that would be a terrible hazard, but I got to have the sound going on in the background, and I got to enjoy this while I was on the go. And as a driver, maybe that's not the best thing to always do, but let's say you're the passenger in a car on a long road. That's great.
No, I mean just on a regular basis. Like, what if you're there's always like, oh man, I really want to watch that pay-per-view, and I've got WrestleMania now. Let me put my phone on the table and watch
Yeah.
it. Like,
Let me invite all my friends over. We'll crowd around the coffee
Right.
table.
I do have something to say about the pricing in the UK,
what is
if
that?
that's
from there?
okay. The price for a pay-per-view, any pay-per-view, all the big ones, is £15.99 pence sterling. So it's got to be underneath $15 for it to work in this country. Because we get 6 pay-per-views free, and I think 4 via Skybox Office. So
Wait, so you're actually going to be paying more?
we might be paying more, yeah.
Oh, that's
a
an
damn
downside.
shame.
Well,
So they got to work it around that in this country. So
yeah, they might do an inflation kind of switch over. They might do some kind of a price adjustment or whatever like that, or they might just kind of argue and say, well, you're getting all the other content too. So that's weird. I mean, they didn't really talk too much about being outside of America, did they? They did mention, WWE's all over the place and all that, but I don't remember them saying anything about availability for a whole bunch of other countries, just that it's available. Do you guys remember them saying anything about that?
No.
Wah, wah, wah.
Oh,
they said it was going to be available in places like the UK, New Zealand, Australia, Germany.
I got the question on the fact here. Beginning Monday, February 24th, WWE Network will not only be available in the United States, WWE Network is scheduled to launch in the United Kingdom,
Ooh.
Canada,
Ooh.
Australia,
Aw.
New Zealand,
Meh.
Singapore,
Okay.
Hong Kong, and the Nordics by the end of
Yes!
2014, early 2015.
Man, those people in Botswana are gonna be pissed.
The Nordics. That was the one that was interesting. I remember hearing him say that, the Nordics. Just the fact they even just called it the Nordics is awesome.
So overall, we're all pretty excited about this. We all think it's a pretty good idea. What do you guys think? Are you going to be signing up for WWE Network? Or are you still on the fence about it? Or are you militantly against it? Either way, argue your points below. Tell us what you think. Leave those comments. And now it's time to wrap this episode up and give some plugs. Starting with Sean Walker, what do you got to plug?
I got a new article on the Fanboys website. You should all know the address by now. And just my Twitter, which I plug every other week. So yeah, just check previous episodes.
You're giving them homework.
Yep.
Look below. It's always listed in the YouTube description and everything. Drew?
Not much, but for those of you who don't know the Fanboys Anonymous webpage, because Sean's too lazy to say it, it's fanboysanonymous.com. Exactly how it sounds and exactly how it's spelled if you're the spell freaks out there. And also, that's
Now, why would anyone have a website that's spelled wrong?
Shoot. Tony, you're ruining my plugs. Quit it.
2 weeks in a row I've done that.
Continue, Drew.
That's about it. Nope, nothing of importance in my life. I'm a lonely 18-year-old boy.
Oh,
This is the saddest part. Peyton, lighten it up a little bit here.
Oh my goodness. Well, please everyone stay tuned to all the business that we got going on over at Mega Powers Radio. Specifically, join us every Monday night following the conclusion of Monday Night Raw on Mega Powers Radio for the NPR Raw post show. Yeah, they announced tonight that on the WWE Network they're going to be making a Raw post show of their own. Well, you know what?
Ooh.
We came first, and we got the Twitter name, we got the Facebook name, and we got the hashtag. It's ours. Come at me, WWE.
Sue us, bitch.
Please join us for that. I can assure you it'll be a lot more fun, a lot more freeform than they got going on there. You can get involved. Sure, they might stream your tweets across the bottom, but on us, you can call in on your cellular phone or with Skype, and you could talk to us directly,
And make fun
feed
of
us questions, give your comments about whatever happened on Raw or is going on in the world of wrestling. It's a blast. Join us Monday following Raw, megapowersradio.com, facebook.com/Raw Post Show, and now on Twitter at Raw Post Show.
And fuck
And you
it,
get
we're stealing
trolls.
Renee Young too.
Oh,
She's
Yeah.
gonna be on the show.
Woo,
can we? That'd
really?
be great.
Yeah, I'd be for it. Anything else?
Oh, that's all for now, man. Thanks, Tony. It's a great night here.
Hashtag Drew Crew.
I am severely behind on the Fantasy League, people. I apologize. It was a crazy holiday, but I assure you I will have that up to date before the Royal Rumble.
Peyton's a lazy sack of shit.
All right, guys, that's going to do us in for episode 113. Big thanks for everyone on the panel this evening, and thank you out there for listening. This has been another Smark Out moment, and we're being counted out.
Oh, when you look into your heart and there's a thing what's true, you know there is nothing in this outro that you can't do. Oh, yeah. Yeah, drop the beat. Now I'm looking at the whole world with different eyes. Then I keep reaching higher, gonna touch the outro sky. Ooh. Keep reaching outro. Keep reaching outro. Keep reaching. Keep reaching. Oh God. Oh man. Oh yeah. You can't hide the truth in here behind the eyes. I see the fear. You're dressed so hot to look so strong, but you're in a place that you don't belong because it's an outro. You don't belong.